Another dangerous path about the past, to me, has nothing to do with negativity. It actually has to do with victories and positive thoughts and memories. There's an expression which I always find very interesting, which is I peaked too early. Humans tend to live in the past and in a way romanticize the past because maybe they don't want to deal with the present, or they don't want to deal with the future. So you shape. The beautiful thing about the past is it's only, in a way, it only lives in your head, right? So you can shape it any way you want. So how do you not become a victim of just beautifying a past that is not very accurate and also distorts your understanding of it, and also your ability to be synchronized with the present and the future?
Well, usually when we think about the past, we remember twice as many victories as we won and half as many losses as we incurred. So we like to shape our past as it's more convenient at the time. And we do that because it's extremely easy to just lie to ourselves that we were not as bad as we were, and actually that we were, much better. So we use our past, heavily, and the more we use it and the more we lie about it, the more we weaken ourselves because we become softer, and we become, in a sense, we disabling ourselves from being able enough and competent enough and smart enough to create a future which is much better. So again, it's a recurring issue is that the more truth that we tell ourselves about who we have been, the better our future will be, because we will be competent enough and smart enough to be able, and strong enough and self-confident enough to be able to deal with any negativity. So the more we lie about our past, the more we create something which is very comfortable to live with, because we just remember our victories and we fantasize about how great we were by blaming others and luck and reality itself for our defeats, creating a very comfortable environment, but a very fake environment. And the faker this environment becomes, the more we feel that we do not have to get better. We do not have to improve. We do not have to work hard. We do not have to take more risks. We do not have to tell more truth to ourselves to become competent enough to be able to sustain, the present and defend ourselves, from any negativity that attacks us in the future. So it's an interesting thing here. How can we live the moment without thinking too much about the past and the future? And how can we live the moment without injuring the future by the things that we're doing in the moment, which in the future will become sadness for others, which means that, eventually will become sadness, for ourselves.
Do you have an answer to that?
Well, the best way for me is we have to, with every word and every deed of ours, we paint the world around us with the emotions that we have in our soul, which is fantastic. But this comes also as a cost. We like to think that, we can only get benefits from whatever we do, forgetting about the cost. And the costs are always in the future. And this is the deceiving part of our life. And this is where we really have to understand how important it is, while we allow our soul to be free to enjoy the moment and to fill it with passion, with freedom, with as much innocence, as much kindness, as much beauty and happiness. At the same time, it is very important for us to be cognizant of the fact that our words and our deeds create a lot of injuries if they're negative. So for us to have a good time while we're creating difficulties and hardships to other people, the net result of that can only be a future which will come back to be sadness, for us and others. So we do have to enjoy the moment without injuring the people around us, without creating, sadness and pain to the people around us.